The past 2 months of the regular season just flew by, and now we are face to face with the final week of the regular season. The most important game of the TVC Ohio happened tonight as the Athens Bulldogs took on Nelsonville York. The Philo Electrics hosted the Tri-Valley Scotties, hoping to steal the MVL crown this year. Zane Trace came out looking to extend their 7-game win streak and earn a spot in the playoffs. The best of Week 10 is all coming up next on Gridiron Glory. Welcome back to the set of Gridiron Glory. I'm your host, Danny Dean, back under center with some teams right on the edge of playoff berths. Winning now is what matters. Everything comes down to tonight. Let's kick off Week 10 with the biggest game in the MVL. Last week, the Philo Electrics clinched at least a share of their first MVL title since the 1955 season. Tonight, they had a chance to win it outright. But first, they had to go through the Tri-Valley Scotties. MVL reporter Megan Stamper was there tonight. So were they able to come away with the MVL crown?
Yeah, Danny, everyone knew going in it was going to be a tough game, but I didn't expect it to be as big of a defensive battle as it was. The last time Philo clinched the MVL title, head coach Dirk Lincecum was a player on the team, so tonight was extra special for the Electrics. They already had a share of that title, but they wanted the whole thing. And emotions and tensions were high at Sam Hatfield Stadium tonight. Student section was ready to cheer on their boys. Early on, Philo had the ball right here. This is their second drive of the game, trying to get something going, but Tri-Valley said, nope, sit down. Their defense stuffed Philo there, and that drive stalled. So Tri-Valley got the ball back, trying to do something here too. Quarterback Andrew Newsom keeps it on a second and one play, takes it for 13 yards, but Tri-Valley's drive would stall there too. And Philo got the ball back, trying to get something going through the air, but Jake McLaughlin of Tri-Valley picks it off, and this game kind of, that's what this game looked like, trading turnovers. So Tri-Valley here throws it to Philo. This is Isaac Gills. He picks it off for Philo, runs it back up the field to give Philo the ball back. And on the first play of that drive after the interception, Dylan Tweedy takes it for a nice run here, 20 yards up the middle. And this was one of the biggest offensive plays that Philo had all night against that tough Scotty D. And later on in that same drive, trying to go towards the end zone, but quarterback Nate Baker finds Cody Collins from Tri-Valley for another interception. And Collins injured himself on that play, but he did come back later. And here was the only score of the game. Caleb Craig takes it in late in the third quarter to give Tri-Valley the 7-0 lead. And that was the final score, 7-0. So Tri-Valley wins, and there's a three-way tie in the MVL for the title. And so tonight there were just as many turnovers in this game as there were points, 7. 5 came from the Electrics and 2 came from Tri-Valley, and that is what made the difference in the game and one of the main reasons the Scotties were able to pull out the hard-fought win.
So what a defensive battle. Why did both teams struggle to move the ball?
Well, Tri-Valley shot themselves in the foot on their first couple of possessions with penalties. They had multiple false start and holding penalties that moved them back whenever they were starting to march down the field. Newsom also had an interception, but Philo had 5 turnovers, 3 interceptions and 2 fumbles. The last fumble was the most costly when Jacob Moeller carried the ball for a first down into Scotty territory late in the fourth quarter, but lost the ball to Tri-Valley. The last interception came with less than 2 minutes left, and the Electrics were driving, but Jacob Moeller threw the interception to seal the game for Tri-Valley.
All right, Megan, like you said, now we have a 3-way tie for the MVL crown. Break that down for us.
So Tri-Valley finished 9-1 overall, whereas Philo and Sheridan finished 8-2, but they all finished 6-1 in the MVL. So now this marks 7 years in a row that Tri-Valley has had at least a share of the MVL crown, and Philo's first MVL title since 1995. And Philo also had to go without one of their top players tonight, Dakota Perry. Perry suffered a shoulder injury this week and didn't come into the game until late. He only had 1 rushing attempt for 7 yards. So if Philo does end up getting into the playoffs, their health is going to be a concern going forward because they had a lot of guys get banged up tonight, including their quarterback, Nate Baker.
Well, we'll see if they do make it to the postseason. Thanks, Megan. Even though tonight marks the end of the road for some teams, that doesn't mean we stop working. For more, go online to woub.org/gridiron. Right now, our website has recaps of the games we covered tonight. You can also find all the scores from the area, and we don't stop on Fridays. All throughout the week, our reporters are cranking out game previews and predictions. Head over to woub.org/gridiron to get ready for the playoffs. Last year, Zane Trace won its first ever playoff game following an undefeated regular season. A shot at returning to the playoffs was on the line tonight for the Pioneers, who took on the 1-8 Westfall Mustangs. And Justin Holbrook was there to see if the Mustangs could pull off the upset.
Well, Danny, the odds were definitely stacked against Westfall tonight. After Zane Trace lost its first 2 games of the season, it won 7 straight, putting the Pioneers in a great shot to control their own destiny for the playoffs. And tonight, they faced a Westfall defense that's given up the most points in the Scioto Valley this year, putting Zane Trace in a perfect position to win his 4th straight conference title. And Austin Harris got the action going really quickly and early, and he was trying to get the team fired up to get back into the playoffs, and they had a great first drive on offense. And here it was capped off by Will Palmer, who goes to the right side, takes it for 12 yards for the touchdown, 7-0 Zane Trace, and 10:07 left in the first. And Zane Trace is back on offense. This time Harris connects with Darby Pillow for 14 yards, and the offense is rolling. This time, Will Palmer once again goes up the middle, and he gets a big hole on the left side, takes it 41 yards to the 9-yard line where he's tripped up. But don't worry, on the next play, Austin Harris rolls out to his right, and he goes in for the 9-yard touchdown, making it 14-0 Zane Trace. And now Westfall is trying to have the same success on offense. Here, Matt Jude has a screen pass to Tyler Armentrout, and he's got the speed to go with the strength, and he goes for 38 yards to the 8-yard line. And on 4th and goal, it's Jude that punches it in for the touchdown and makes it 14-8. They go for the 2-point conversion, so it's a close game here, but Zane Trace's offense was just too much. This time, it's Etheridge Games getting in the game, and he has a great run, picking up more than 40 yards, makes a nice cut there, and guess what? He's going to finish off the drive by himself, takes it 12 yards for the touchdown, and that makes it 20-8 Zane Trace, and they wouldn't stop as they go on to win 58-14.
Wow, so Zane Trace picks up its 4th straight Scioto Valley Conference title with the win. But Justin, it looked like their offense just overpowered Westfall from the start.
Well, yeah, it was clear from that first drive that the Pioneers were going to take full advantage of Westfall's spotty defense. Zane Trace has scored a touchdown on its first 3 possessions, and it took less than 2.5 minutes on all 3 of those drives. What stood out the most about the offense was how many playmakers they have. After their first game of the season, I said that Austin Harris was the only threat on offense, and guess what? He needed a lot of help to make it back to the playoffs this year, and Danny, he got a lot of help. He got plenty of it from players all over the past few weeks, and tonight it was a combination of Etheridge Games and Will Palmer at running back and solid pass blocking from the offensive line.
Definitely a great outing from the offense. Looking back at the season, what surprised you the most about this team?
Well, Danny, it's got to be the fact that Zane Trace lost so many seniors from last year and still found a way to post an 8-2 record. And really, they were one Hail Mary short of being incomplete from only having 1 loss. To me, that's a testament to Dwayne Hall and his 2nd year back with the Pioneers. Just looking at the numbers from tonight, he's got the offense in a great spot. They finished with 488 total yards and over 350 yards coming on the ground. Austin Harris had over 300 yards as well and also had 5 touchdowns, while Palmer had 3 of his own. And the defense settled in and didn't give up a single touchdown in the second half. We'll see where the Pioneers get seated in the playoffs, but they are definitely a team to watch out for next week.
Coach Hall definitely been great for the Pioneers. Thanks a lot, Justin. For a look from the sidelines, give Gridiron a follow on Snapchat. You'll get a behind-the-scenes look from our Fan of the Week, along with a view from inside our studio. Also, if you send us your snaps, you can get on the show, just like these students from Jackson. They're looking like a bit of goofs, but they're supporting the Ironman at the same time, so thanks a lot, guys. Tomorrow night, the Southern Tornadoes came off the TVC Ohio regular season as they travel to Reedsville to play rival Eastern. But before we get into the X's and O's of the game, we'd like to address a mistake that we made on last week's show in our Coach of the Year segment. So I'll let our Hawking reporter Joseph Payton take it from here.
Thanks, Danny. As you just mentioned, on last week's show in our Coach of the Year segment, Southern head football coach Mike Chansey was not credited for his accomplishments this season. We had an incorrect name on our show, and all of us here at Gridiron Glory would like to send our apologies to Coach Chansey. We recognize all that he has accomplished in his first season at the helm of the Southern football program, and those accomplishments are exactly why he is on our Coach of the Year watch list. If Southern can get a win tomorrow night, they'll have an 8-2 record, which ties the school record for most wins in a season. And since they've already clinched a playoff spot, a win would just give them some added momentum. That will be the second playoff appearance in school history, with the first coming in 2013. So, Danny, it sounds like a pretty good first season at Southern for Coach Chansey.
Definitely an impressive start for him at Southern, but what does his team have to do to get that win tomorrow night?
Well, I think it starts at quarterback. They've got a great playmaker in Blake Johnson at the QB position, and it seems like he and wide receiver Crimson Rogers have had great chemistry all season long. If those two guys can get it going early, Southern has a very good chance to come out on top.
Now, Southern will be the favorite, so what are the keys for Eastern tomorrow?
Well, I think Eastern, they're going to need Jet Facemeyer to play his best. Last week against Belpre, Eastern struggled offensively in the first half. The offense has to start fast tomorrow night, and Facemeyer needs to get in the rhythm early to get this offense going to knock off a very good Tornado team. So I look for him to use his leadership to take control of this team tomorrow night.
Well, we know it is a big rivalry game for these two schools. So let's throw out records. What do you expect from tomorrow night?
Well, you know, it's a rivalry game. I think in rivalry games, coaches always say it's whoever wants it the most. And trust me, I know that both of these teams want this one pretty bad. I like Southern to win this game, but I think that Eastern might keep it closer than people may think. This game last year was pretty emotional. Southern ended up getting the win 47-7, but it got a little chippy towards the end of the ball game. I know these two teams haven't forgotten what happened in last year's matchup, and they'll be ready to get out there and bring the juice. But in rivalry games, you still have to play smart, keep your emotions under control, and keep your composure. And whoever does that tomorrow night, they're going to get the win and the bragging rights to go along with it.
Well, I'm excited for that game, Joseph. Thanks a lot. Next week on our show, we'll reveal our Player of the Year Coach and Coach of the Year nominees. We have to narrow down the list to the 5 best players and coaches in the area. With all the standouts this year, it's going to be a challenge to pick the finalists. And that's why we want to hear from you at home. Tweet at the Gridiron account and my host account with the coaches and players you think deserve a nomination. And be sure to tune in next week to see who made the cut. Tonight in the Mid-State League, it's winning in for 2 teams in our coverage. Amanda Clear Creek and Bloom Carroll both had separate conference games, so we decided we had to cover both. But let's start it off with the Bulldogs, who traveled to Fairfield Union. Scott McDonald was on the sideline. So Scott, did Bloom Carroll end the regular season on a high note?
Well, Danny, we knew coming into tonight's game that if Bloom Carroll is going to win, then the lowest seed they could possibly get in next week's playoffs would be the 7th seed. But it's going to be difficult facing a Fairfield Union team coming off an upset victory over Liberty Union last week. Bloom Carroll, led by Player of the Year candidate Justin Harvey, did struggle out of the gates a bit. The ball was not leaving his hands smoothly, and he was missing open targets. The Bulldogs did not score until their 5th possession. Now, you have to give Fairfield Union's defense some credit. They were put in some difficult situations in terms of field position and held an offense that has scored 35 points in 8 of 9 games up to this week to only 28 points. But after the first score, Harvey settled in and started playing to his capabilities.
What was Bloom Carroll able to do to get their offense moving after those rough possessions?
Well, it all started with Justin Harvey. He looked very uncomfortable in the pocket early on, but once he was able to complete those short passes, you could really see his confidence growing. His passes were more accurate. He was setting his feet before he threw, and his mechanics looked excellent. It also didn't hurt to have a committee of running backs who were running hard and staying low while keeping the chains moving and even score, which is why they were able to win 28-7 and unofficially lock up a playoff spot.
So Bloom Carroll officially clinches a spot in the playoffs. Thanks a lot, Scott. Now, Blake, you were out in Amanda tonight, and were the Aces able to pull off the win?
No, the Aces weren't able to get it done in Liberty Union tonight. Boasting a 6-3 record and holding the 8th and final playoff spot in Division IV Region 15, Amanda Clear Creek needed a W tonight to guarantee themselves that playoff spot. But they fell 22-14 at the hands of the Lions, and now their season has likely come to an end. And it was a frustrating game for the Aces, as Amanda's offense failed to establish a consistent rhythm all night. It got behind the chains too many times early on and couldn't recover. The Aces did manage drives deep into Lion territory early in the second half, but multiple turnovers killed their chances to even the game, and they never fully got back in it. On the defensive end, Amanda struggled to stop or even slow down Liberty Union quarterback Kyle Varney, who had all 3 of the Lions' touchdowns on the ground. Not to mention he picked up 404 yards in all-purpose. The success of Varney on top of the Aces' offensive woes was a recipe for defeat in Amanda tonight.
So Amanda is likely out of the playoff picture. What can the Aces take away from this season, Blake?
Well, they returned an experienced group, and that certainly helped them improve from a season ago. R.J. Martin more than filled the void in the backfield, and Braden Neff proved he could lead a talented offense. In just Scott Hinton's 2nd season at the helm, the Aces improved by 4 wins and were just 1 win away from a playoff appearance. The Aces had huge conference wins over Bloom Carroll and Logan Elm on the road, but when it came to winning the big one, they just fell short, and that's the only reason they'll be on the outside looking in, Danny.
Well, I'm excited to see what they do next year. Thanks a lot, Blake. Earlier tonight, I asked everyone at home to tweet us with their Player of the Year candidates, and Sheridan coach Paul Culver III, he was already on top of it. He tweeted showing his pride for quarterback Dylan Dupler, and Culver remembered to use the hashtag GGPOY. Dupler definitely putting up the numbers to make him a strong candidate for this year. I can't wait to release the final 5 next week. It's a good time to be a Unioto fan right now. The Sherman Tanks have won their last 5 games, and with a win tonight, they could find themselves in the playoffs for the first time ever. Our very own Clay Benjamin was in Chillicothe tonight, and Clay, the Sherman Tanks needed to come out firing if they wanted to secure a spot in the playoffs.
Danny, the Sherman Tanks have the highest scoring offense in the Scioto Valley Conference as they average 34 points per game, but they would need another big night from their offense if they wanted to fight their way into the playoffs.
So Clay, a good night for Tank fans. What else can you tell us?
Well, Danny, tonight it was all about Clay Edler. Clay Edler put the name of Clay to good use tonight. He was the workhorse for the Tanks. Coming into the game, Edler had 1,208 yards passing and 79 yards rushing and 32 touchdowns on the season, and he only added to those stats tonight. Edler finished the game with 7 touchdowns, 5 through the air and 2 on the ground. He accounted for 333 of Unioto's 457 yards of total offense. Edler also went over 1,000 yards rushing for the season, but he had great support of Trey Ivy, JaMychal Beard, and Gabe Fisher to help him.
A great night for Unioto overall, but before we start looking ahead, what went wrong for Adena tonight?
Adena came into the game tonight with the lowest scoring offense in the league, averaging 18.1 points per game. They stuck around for the first half, but a few turnovers were their downfall as the Tanks capitalized and just blew the game wide open.
It's a tough way to end the season for Adena, but luckily for the Tanks, their season isn't over yet. Where could we see them play next week, Clay?
Danny, the Unioto fans will be celebrating late into the night, celebrating their first playoff berth in school history. But with the win tonight, they will slide into that 8th spot in Division IV, Region 16. We won't know anything officially until Sunday, but it looks like the Tanks will either take on number 1 seed Wyoming or Clinton Massey. But one thing we do know for sure is that Unioto will be celebrating tonight.
We're excited to see what else they can do. Thanks a lot, Clay. And it's a neck-and-neck race for the TVC Ohio Championship. Nelsonville York hosted Athens. The Buckeyes and the Bulldogs came out with energy tonight, and their fans were a huge part of the excitement.
Every touchdown we let it off. Hey, there we go. Go Bucks.
Here we go, Bulldogs. Here we go. Here we go, Bulldogs. Here we go. Nelsonville!
So tonight, Athens student section had the Halloween theme, which is pretty fitting, but I gotta give it to Antonio. He clearly went all out. So Antonio, you're a fan of the week. Since conference play started in week 3, it was no surprise that the game between Nelsonville York and Athens would be one for the books. The TVC Ohio crown and a playoff spot are all on the line tonight for both teams, and that's why it had to be our game of the week. Tonight, the two best TVC Ohio offenses finally go head-to-head in a winner-takes-all game. Now let's take it out to our Ohio reporter, Josh Gregory, who's in Nelsonville. Josh?
Danny, when the Bulldogs are boasting a quarterback who has over 1,500 passing yards this season, and NY has a tailback who has reached over 1,500 rushing yards, you're asking for a pretty good game, and that is exactly what we got tonight. Fans in the Nut House, they're going crazy tonight, and for good reason. But it's Bulldogs with the first drive, and Brandon Sano tries to get something going. He launches it deep into the red zone, but he misses his man, and they're forced to punt. So NY, they're trying to get something going on this drive, but they won't. And number 27, Adam Evans snags it in, puts Athens up 7-0. So NY, they're trying to get something going, and they take it deep into the red zone, and they capitalize 4 plays later. Hunter Edwards punching in NY's first touchdown from 2 yards out. So it's 7 apiece halfway through the first quarter. And in Athens, Brendan Sano, he sets it up big. Tyler Roback, a 33-yard connection, putting Athens in the red zone again. And with another trip into the red zone, they'll go up 10-7 with a field goal. And Athens, they mess up on this punt. Tyler Roback, he bobbles it, and NY grabs it, and then they take it away. Andrew Evans punching in NY's second touchdown. So it's 14-7, NY in the second quarter. And Andrew Evans, he came out of the locker room with the same kind of intensity. 21-10, it's 21-10 at the time in the third quarter. And Athens, they would go on to win, NY, they went on to win this one 41-24 tonight, Danny.
So it looks like Nelsonville York's season is still in full swing, but it didn't look that way until the end. Why was that, Josh?
Well, Danny, both offenses gave it everything they had tonight, but it wasn't without their mistakes. So for Athens, Sano, he had trouble connecting with his receivers all night long tonight, and he racked up many incomplete passes, many of these stalling any chance at an Athens momentum early on in this game. And for Athens, NY, the offensive trouble started when star running back Alex Mount went down with a nasty injury halfway through the first quarter. He's been NY's powerhouse all season long, racking up triple-digit numbers every game until tonight. Mount out of the game really hurt the Buckeyes at first, but then Hunter Edwards and Noah Andrews were able to fill in the gap later.
Well, I hope Mount has a speedy recovery. NY will need him during playoff time. So, Josh, how did NY take this one without Mount on the field?
Well, like I said, Danny, Edwards and Andrews really stepped up after Mount went down. Edwards, he finished with 150 passing yards and 2 touchdowns. Noah Andrews was right behind him, 91 rushing yards and 3 touchdowns. But I think a lot of it was also due to Athens' offensive mistakes tonight. Sano couldn't connect with his receivers, and those really stalled any chance for Athens to really run away with this one. There were times where they looked like they were about to sink, but they lacked any real consistent passing or rushing game tonight, Danny.
So what does Nelsonville York need to do if they want to go deep into the playoffs?
Well, Danny, there's a lot of factors that go into that. The first one is whether or not Alex Mount will be able to play. If he is, that's great news for the Buckeyes. But if he's not, they're really going to need to step up. Hunter Edwards is going to have to be in tip-top shape. He was decent tonight, but he's really going to have to bring it if he wants to lead this team deep. And same with Noah Andrews. He's going to be the star for their rushing team now with Alex Mount out, and he's going to have to dig deep to really take this team deep into the playoffs. But like I said, Danny, this is a big win for Nelsonville York, a huge turnaround from their 1-9 record last year, and that alone is an achievement in and of itself. And with a TVC Ohio crown, NY's the place to be tonight. I don't know about you, but I have half a mind to just set up a tent over in the middle of Boston Field and camp out here tonight.
Well, we'll come out and join you, Josh. They definitely had a great season. Should be proud of all their accomplishments. Thanks a lot. The season was full of mind-blowing touchdowns, outrageous catches, and hard hits. But before we say goodbye and dive into the postseason, you know we got to give love to the best of Week 10. Let's roll out the top plays of the night. For number 3, let's go out to Philo and Tri-Valley. They get it going through the air, but the ball gets tipped up, and it's Isaac Gill. He grabs it and takes the interception for the Electrics. And even though Tri-Valley got this one, Philo dominated this season. Number 2 on the night goes to Zane Trace, Etheridge Games, and his fancy footwork getting it done for the Pioneers. He escapes tacklers and goes 44 yards to get Zane Trace in great position. And on the next play, he punches it in himself. And for our top play of the regular season, it comes from the Bloom Carroll Bulldogs. Number 33, Frankie Williams takes it and breaks more than 6 tacklers. He could not be stopped. He went 19 yards into the end zone. The regular season, it's finished. The postseason is here, and everybody has a clean slate. No wins, no losses. Online host Eric II is here to give us an unofficial postseason picture. Eric?
So the official results come out on Sunday, but after the results today, I'm going to try and put a nice pretty bow on the postseason action. Every game we went to has some sort of playoff implication. 5 of the 6 teams could win and clinch a playoff berth. Now let's look at the first slate of games we had. Philo, they couldn't put up any points on Tri-Valley. The Electrics, however, are listed as the 8th seed in Region 15. Tri-Valley, despite getting the dub, they're eliminated. Zane Trace back in the postseason. 8 straight wins after starting the season off with 2 losses. They lost their senior sack leader, Aiden Place, in the preseason, but the Pioneers, they're still playing in November. Bloom Carroll and their high-powered offense, led by Gridiron Glory Player of the Year candidate, Justin Harvey, defeated Mid-State League rival Fairfield Union. So we'll see them next week. 3 more teams that controlled their own destiny on their senior night, and the Aces were the only team not to handle business. And it cost them. They are on the outside looking in as of right now. Unioto finishes the season strong, and because Chaminade Julien lost, they slide into the 8th seed in Region 16. And in the TBC Ohio, championship goes to the Buckeyes. They win 7 more games than they did last year, get the crown, and a home game in Week 11. Now, even though the Scotties won and have a record of 9-1 in the big picture of Division II Region 7, they fall short of a postseason spot. Sheridan, they handed Tri-Valley their only loss, and it paid off as they hold the final spot in Region 11. Sadly, Athens and Jackson both lose, ending their postseason dreams. 2 great teams that will be missed in this postseason. Bloom Carroll, they had control of their own destiny, clinched the spot with the win in Region 15. Philo and Amanda Clear Creek both lost. The Electrics spot, they should hold that out, but the Aces, they are eliminated. Chaminade Julien lost. Unioto won, which means the Sherman Tank slides safely into the final spot of Region 16. They're going to have to face a tough Wyoming team or a Clinton Massey team. Both teams combined for 1 loss on the year. Now, the Sherman Tank's rival Zane Trace destroyed Westfall, and Nelsonville York moved from the 5 seed to the 3 seed after defeating Athens, which means Nelsonville York gets a home game. And we move to Division 7. Waterford and Trimble were chilling tonight. No worries, blowout victories. They knew they were going to be in the playoffs. Now Southern, they play tomorrow, but because of the results today, they clinched the playoff berth. Now remember, these results are unofficial. We have about 9 teams sitting in the postseason right now, and Danny, that's all I got for you.
Well, thanks for putting a bow on the regular season, Eric. We really appreciate it. And that wraps it up for the 2016 regular season. Be sure to join us next week on WOUB as the best time of the year gets even better. It's playoffs, baby. From the best source of Southeast Ohio football, I'm your host, Danny Dean, reminding you that there's nothing better than Friday nights and Gridiron Glory.